Hi, everyone. My name is Alexandra Kukoff. It's August 20th, and today is my bat mitzvah. I've been studying for about a year and a half with my amazing bat mitzvah tutor, Becky Maper, and I have to say I am so excited for today. I'm a bit nervous because, just regular nerves, but I'm very excited. It's weird kind of seeing my name all the way up there. B'nai Mitzvah, I am Alexandra Kukoff. The other girl, Maya Frankel, has hers off-site, but so I'm very, very excited for today. I'm just going to see what comes, and I'm going to go with it, being very assertive, confident, like my mom told me, and that's pretty much it.
At this time, it's our great pleasure to call forward to the Bima Alana and David Kukoff, the parents of our bat mitzvah, as they offer to Alex some personal words and present to her special bat mitzvah talit.
Alexandra. A Yiddish proverb writes that every child brings into the world their own blessing. Alexandra, you make my heart, soul, and mind soar. Being your mom is an honor and privilege and is a role that I treasure every single day. Ekev, your Torah portion, is an interesting and complex parsha whose principles I feel you adhere to in your daily life. Alexandra, you are a dedicated honors student, a wonderful daughter, sister, granddaughter, and niece, a terrific cellist, a gifted writer, and a dedicated community member. Your ability to follow through and care deeply about sharing other people's stories is something you worked so hard to achieve, and that blogging for Baba Ganuz has given you the platform to do so. Your mitzvah project, your book, A Jewish Girl's Guide to a Bat Mitzvah Project, is entirely about profiling other young women with the hope that these young women's stories will inspire more girls about to embark on their own bat mitzvah studies to also complete a bat mitzvah project. Accountability, one of the main themes in your Torah portion, has been exhibited by you all through your life. Last summer, when you went to camp, there was a girl that no one else wanted to be friends with. Not only did you choose to be friends with her, you also rallied the other girls around her and made her many new friends. You ate lunch with her, helped her, and did this regardless of whether you were in the mood to spend time with her or not. Since there was no one there to tell you what to do or how to act, you showed the greatest accountability of all, being accountable to yourself and by extension, actively living the ideas of Ekev. Alexandra, I wish in your life you find true and lasting love, a fascinating, inspiring career, lifelong good health, and the inner courage and strength to withstand the ups and downs that life brings to us all. Alexandra, I love you forever and with all that I am.
My dearest Alexandra, the playwright George Bernard Shaw once said, "If I'd had more time, I would have written a shorter letter." Well, I had plenty of time to write what should be a mercifully short speech, but somehow, when I sat down to write it, I found myself at a loss for words. Naturally, this puzzled me. Being at a loss for words for me is about as characteristic as rooting for the Boston Red Sox or expressing affection for the comic acting abilities of Justin Timberlake. But mostly, I was puzzled because, objectively speaking, the words to describe your extraordinary qualities are infinite in number. How to express all the many things you are, poet, writer, student, fighter, with so little space and yet so much at my avail, and with the bar so high to boot. Everyone always assumes a writer can just put some nice-sounding words together and it will yield big ideas. But here I was, nearing the day of your ultimate simcha, with little to show for it. I turned to your Torah portion for help. Maybe there was something here that could help articulate what I was feeling. I read about God's bountiful blessings being the Israelites to behold, but only if they obeyed and lived his laws accordingly. And I thought about accountability and about words and ideas, and I thought, maybe that's it. Maybe the words are the big idea. Alexandra, from the moment you sat down to a laptop, we used to use the phrase, put pen to paper, but now it's more akin to put finger to keyboard. It was clear to all that you were a born writer. Anyone who has watched you work with language knows that words are to you what a canvas was to Van Gogh, what a chessboard was to Bobby Fischer, what an iTunes opportunity is to Katy Perry. Okay, so maybe that last one falls into the which one of these is not like all the others category, but you get the idea. What I see when I watch you write is a young woman with her antenna keenly tuned to a frequency in the universe undetectable to most, channeling that frequency into page after page filled with some of the most extraordinary ideas I have ever seen come from the mind of a young person. And don't forget that I just spent the last 4 years working with some of the finest young writing minds in the country. But it is often said that to those to whom much is given, much is expected. Being gifted in language is not the same as being gifted at soccer or music or finance. Language is the cornerstone of our communication with others. And with proper care, it can inspire revolutions, as we saw so recently in the uprisings this year that were fueled in large part by tweets that were fewer than 140 linguistic characters. But language can also be employed at the service of far less noble ends. Con artists and manipulators of all shapes and sizes invariably have one thing in common: their so-called gift of gab. And even though I'm happy to say that you have nothing in common with those personality types, unless, of course, it involves watching extra episodes of Futurama in lieu of doing your homework, I want to remind you that your gift with words will come to fruition only if treated responsibly and accountably. Be honest and fearless and soul-searching in your writing, and you will know what it means to be divinely inspired. Be the same way with the people in your life, and the blessings you shall receive in return will be every bit as bountiful as the ones our people received from Hashem. So heed your parsha every day of your life, my sweet love. Be the best you and the best you can possibly be. And let your gifts bestow blessing upon you and those around you. I love you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlu l'Adonai iti, unero memma, Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח והאות.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divrechem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah u'b'Moshe avdo u'b'Yisrael amo u'b'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. V'tomer Tzion azavani Adonai v'Elohim shechechani hatishkach isha ulach merechem ben vitna gamelech tishkachna v'anochi lo eshkachech hen al kapayim hakotich Homotayich negdi tamid. Shabbat shalom, and welcome to our Shabbat morning service and my bat mitzvah. A special thank you to my grandparents, Lydia and Ben Kukoff, for flying all the way from New York to join in the simcha. My Haftorah, Isaiah 49, verse 14 through 51, verse 3, describes Zion's anguish at God's abandonment. The people of Zion wallow hopelessly, following the destruction of the temple and their exile to Babylon, but are soon comforted by God's soothing promises. The people of Zion shall reunite with their homeland and, with the Lord's help, restore their glory. The people of Zion, through the words and praises of the prophet Isaiah, rejoice, find comfort in God's promises, and embrace the hope of an unconquerable future. Like Zion, I have been through good and bad, and I recognize that despite whatever troubles I encounter, there are always people in the Jewish community looking out for me. Their help, along with my own inner will, has gotten me here today and has helped me discover what becoming a bat mitzvah really means. To me, becoming a bat mitzvah is not simply about getting through 2 services with only one thing in mind, a party. And although accepting the laws and promising to contribute to the community is an important part of the process, it's not the whole meaning. To me, becoming a bat mitzvah isn't even about changing my lifestyle entirely to fit certain standards, because almost nobody can live up to that promise. Becoming a bat mitzvah means caring about your religion and the community, helping a friend in a time of need, being counted in minyan, chanting the blessing over the talit with confidence and pride, reading the Torah and understanding its impact on our lives today. And most importantly, becoming a bat mitzvah means continuing your Jewish education, going to confirmation because you want to, not because your parents say so, continuing Jewish studies far after confirmation, even in your own home, carrying on the Jewish legacy with the next generation, and most of all, enjoying being Jewish. 30 years from now, I won't remember the songs my DJ played at my party. I'll remember this day as a day when I truly embraced my Jewish identity. So many people contributed to making this day possible. Rabbi Spiegel and Hazan Pablo make services so enjoyable, and I can't imagine our synagogue without them. My tutor, Becky Maper, was such a big help in preparing me for my bat mitzvah and is probably the most patient person I know. Becky, without your help, I wouldn't be standing here today. Joyce Bronstein, Director of Education, and my Hebrew school teachers have offered me so many different perspectives on current Judaic issues, events in our community, and my Torah portion, and they make Hebrew school a great environment for me to explore my culture and its history. My grandparents, Lydia and Ben Kukoff, recently took me on the trip of a lifetime to Israel, which I think really connected me with my Jewish spirituality. Words cannot thank you guys enough for what you have done for me, as well as being there for me my whole life. Safdar and Grandpa Ben, I love you guys. And Grandma, you must have listened to me practice my Haftorah a million times. You always put my concerns ahead of your own, and you continue to be a selfless, supporting, loving family member. I love you so much. Although my grandpa died when I was only 5 years old, I miss him so much. I know he's smiling down on me from heaven, and I hope he's proud of the person I've become. Zach, we have a very close bond, even though you always pick me to read the part of the evil son on Passover. Yes. Okay. You always help me with technology problems and schoolwork and give great advice. You are an amazing brother. Patchy, my beautiful Cocker Spaniel, always cheers me up and kisses me in the morning when I get out of bed. He is the most amazing dog, and I can't wait to throw him a bark mitzvah when he turns 13 in human years. Dad, when others don't, you really treat me like an adult. You give me friendship advice, make an effort to research my interests, teach me how to write screenplays, and always comfort me when I'm upset. We have a really unique relationship, and I love you. Can a woman forget her baby or disown the child of her womb? Though she might forget, I could never forget you. Isaiah 49, verse 15. Mom, this quote describes you entirely. Even when others do, you've never lost faith in me. You are always honest with me and have supported me in all the decisions I've made my entire life. You stick up for me whenever someone puts me down and stay true to your morals even when I don't. You are the person I want to grow up to be, and you are the best mother anyone could have. Mom, I love you more than anything. I am so thankful to celebrate this meaningful day with all of you. Shabbat Shalom.